Okay guys, this is motorcycle content and I'm going to talk to you about the first 6 weeks of my riding. I've done 3,500 miles. I'll talk to you about that in a second. Look, I've gone from Holyhead to Dublin, down here. I've done that Ring of Kerry bit down there, and then I've come up this bit back there. I'm just going to show that in a bit more detail now, and then we'll look at the video. Okay, using my pen tool then, I've come into Dublin and I went through the middle of Dublin like an absolute idiot. Don't do that, guys. Take the M50, just suck up the toll. I took the N7 all the way down here, then all the way down there. Did this in about 3 hours, past Nina, stopped off there for a cup of tea, down through Limerick, Adair. What a beautiful little town that is. If you get a chance to go there, it's just really pretty. All the towns are pretty there. Down here into Killarney, and I stopped at that little green dot there. That was day one. I chilled out in Killarney, went out, had a bit of a walk, and then day two, I did the Ring of Kerry. My wife's got a friend called Kerry. Don't tell her you're going to go and smash out the Ring of Kerry. She gets very offended. So I went down here, all the way down there, and I did this in a day. About 3 hours, guys. Through Shneem for breakfast. Lovely little place. All the way through there. Waterville, really nice as well. Around there, all the way back into Killarney. And from Killarney, I'd actually booked accommodation in Kilkenny for the second night I was there. So I went and rode all the way over here. Went up here like that. Nice roads, guys. And then all the way up there, I went to Kilkenny and stayed in a little place up there. Really nice, actually. And for day three, I took the bike, had a position up near Dublin because we're going to get the ferry back. Went down to Waterford, really nice. And then went down here to Dunmore, I think it was, up to Passage East. Across there, wiggled my way across to Wexford. Wouldn't recommend. It's all right, but, you know, it's not my thing. Up here, I went up to Wicklow and I stayed at a B&B. Well, actually, a really nice hotel, sorry, about where my hour is there. And then the following morning, I basically just rode into Dublin. It took about 45 minutes around the M50. And then back to the ferry. Pretty simple. Let's look at the film. Okay guys, so I got up reasonably early. This is about 9 o'clock then. I went into the town of Killarney, got myself a wet, got myself a tea. On the back of the bike then I've got a Krieger 30 US pack. So everything I've got just fits in like a 30 litre bag. I travel light. That's kilometers per hour, by the way, on the dash there. You can change that obviously on the bike. And these roads are just amazing. I'm going clockwise around the Ring of Kerry. All the tour buses go anti-clockwise, so basically you miss all the buses. As I'm traveling down this road, other motorcyclists will come past me. They're just shaking their heads. They're just like, I'm doing the same thing. It's like, this is just crazy. There's a lake on the right hand side. This is coming south out of Killarney, and you head all the way down. You hang a right. You can't miss it. There's signs for it, and you just follow this road the whole way around for about 3 hours. Stop off when you get tired. Get a wet. I had breakfast in Shneem, I think it was called Shneem, and spoke to some people there. The Irish, if you don't know, are just lovely community orientated people. I've got a lot of time for the Irish. They couldn't have been nicer. I'm a big fan of chatting to people wherever I can. Also guys, here's the thing, right? I'm learning to motorcycle, okay? That's the thing. I'm putting miles on the bike. So I bought the bike 13th of May. I picked it up, in fact. I actually bought it back in, I think, January. It took about 3 months to make. And then it's 27th of May now. So 45 days I've had the bike for, and so far I've covered 3,500 miles. This tour, this 3-day tour, was about 1,000 miles. Pretty much about 1,000 miles I did in the Southern Islands. All right. People keep saying to me, hey Tim, you're devaluing your bike. All right, what are you doing? You're losing money. I'm like, absolutely, mate, 100%. I've written off about 15 grand. Now I'm fortunate in a position where I can do that because I believe in investing in self. That's what I do. So I've got a bike safe course booked for September with Gloucestershire Police, even though I live in Herefordshire. I'm doing it out of county on roads I don't know. The police advised me to do that, by the way. I've got an off-road World of BMW course that I'm looking at doing in October. I've got a track day course at Mallory Park I'm looking to do soon as well. And there was one other, the IEM. I'm looking to do the IEM, progressive learning, obviously observer looking at me. So I believe in educating yourself. I followed this little MX-5 for a long time. It was an old boy, actually, a lovely dude. When he saw me, he tried speeding up, and I was just backed right off, and I was like, mate, chill. He pulls into a viewpoint up there with him. He had a good old chat, actually, really nice guy. This is then coming up this sort of north, well, this sort of south part, but then ending up into the north coast. That's the Atlantic on the left there. That goes out to America. Crazy, right? So I divide the, about devaluing the bike. Yeah, I've written off 15 grand. It's like, oh my God, Tim, you've thrown money away. Look, this is an educational tool that I'm on right now. I could be on a 1300 GS, couldn't I? Put miles on that, but I'm not. Are there cheaper ways of motorcycling? Absolutely right. Are there better ways of motorcycling at the age of 50 when you've got a wife who's requiring you, to have an income and you've got mortgages to pay off? I don't think so. I think the BMW course was fantastic. And the reason I did the BMW course, guys, was because I couldn't really find another one that did what I needed to do in the space of time it did it. So 7 days, down next rookie to rider, You buy the bike straight out, they give you £1,000 off that. I spoke about it in another video. They give you some money towards clothing. I mean, they knock the price of the course off. The bike was about 10 grand plus about 2 grand of extras. Everything else added on to that. Pay off over 3 years, done. You know what I mean? I think I'm paying about just less than £300 a month off, and I'm happy to. Oh, you're getting ripped off, mate. I couldn't care less, mate. You do you, I do me, because this is the best way I've found of doing it. That screen on it, by the way, is a WS screen from Italy. I put it on there. Helps get the airflow over the top of my head because I want to do a lot of touring. I do a lot of riding in the wet. None in Ireland, but on the way back from this, when I got to Anglesey, I've got a place on Anglesey. I went Anglesey back to my pad down in Cheltenham, and it was the most ferocious storm I've ever seen ever. So, you know, I've got wet proofs on the back of the bike. I was wearing jeans for this, by the way, with obviously all the Kevlar armor, AAA rated, John Doe jeans. And yeah, I'm riding a lot in the wet. So I've got courses booked out. I do a lot of work with the Roadcraft book and some other bits and pieces to enhance my riding on an educational piece, guys. So I divide the road up into 3s. Primarily I'm staying in 2, although I know the grip exists in 1 and 3. And if I can minimize lean angle wherever possible, I do. I'm especially in the wet. I'm about getting weight off the bike. I'm not educating anyone here. This is how I find after 6 weeks of riding what works for me, getting weight off the bike when it's wet, to try and minimize lean angle, because for me lean is risk, and that's in my brain now. Very similar to flying, by the way, guys. This, you have a bank angle for a turn. We don't know what turn it is, of course, until we hit the corner on motorcycling. Exactly the same as flying. Here, when I'm entering a corner, I'm looking for that vanishing point, looking long, obviously looking for surface construct as well. And I'll tell you what I'm doing after the break. We're just gonna have a look at a sponsor video now for 1 minute, and then we'll come back and have a look at some great film. A quick advert for Ground News, who sponsor this channel, luckily, because YouTube ain't giving me no money, fam. You know what I'm talking about. All the stories you'll find on the front page here that are current. However, you can search for stuff in the bar at the top. When you click on a story, then it will show you here, look, what's left leaning, center, or right leaning. It's a right leaning story. Let's click on it, and then straight away it gives you a summary at the top there. All the stories here, down there. You can even expand it for more articles if you want at the bottom. On the right here, it shows that there's 34 articles, there's 5 left, 14 right, and then there's 5 center. Below it then, the bias distribution shows that this is a right leaning article, and you can see here Fox News, Israel, all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying. Here, factuality, expand that. You can see which ones are more factually correct than others, and so you can see who owns it as well. Where are your biases in this? Click on the article if you want. You'll go straight to that website then, and at the top you can see there's a bar that drops down as well, again showing where these biases are. You can then look at left-leaning articles and right-leaning articles and not get sidetracked by the mainstream media. 40% off. Thank me later. Yeah, so I was talking for the advert, guys. I like Ground News. They sponsor me. I do use their product. Check my biases. Now, look, when I go into a corner, what I do is I talk about chin and chest. I must have read that somewhere. I think from a police officer. My father was a police motorcyclist. Chin and chest. So I'm putting my chin into the corner, chest to follow. Chin and chest to follow, hips if necessary. That's how I look at it. If the corner's getting tight, hips are going in as well. But I'm getting my weight into that corner. I want to lean with the machine. I don't want to lean away from the machine because I'm going to increase that lean angle unnecessarily. I think the most I've had on the bike is about 32, 33 degrees. I think it can go to 45. I'm happy with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy with that lean angle. Sometimes you just find yourself stopping. Like, there's a golf club on the west coast of Ireland looking like that. What is going on? It is mental. Ireland, there's so much money out there on the west coast of Ireland. You want to know where the money's gone? It's because all the Southern Ireland seems to me to be like a subsidiary of America. Like, all the money from America came into Ireland. Guys, you cannot beat the riding around there. Well, maybe you can. If you've had a great tour. I didn't see a single police officer at all. Well, I actually approached a couple because they were lovely. Some of the local ones. Had a chat, but I didn't see anyone on the roads. I wasn't speeding. I'm chilling. You know, I'm chilling. I've got my stuff on board. My wife's giving me this stuffed dog that's sitting on a pannier at the back. You know how it is, guys, when you're on tour. And it's just, you come into these towns like, mate, what's going on? And you see a cafe, you're like, I am stopping there. I stopped in this town. This is one of the furthest, most western points, guys. So I picked up a rock for the wife. She loves all that stuff. I had to carry a rock all the way home. Well done. Thank you for that. So I pulled up here, went and got myself a wet. You know what I mean? You can do that when you're solo touring. You can do what you want. I don't really want to tour with other dudes. I can see why that would be a good thing. But I'm really into just pull over, you know what I mean? Chill out. It's just get off the bike, see what's going on. Amazing. Have a walk along the beach, do whatever. So of course, I didn't really book too much before I started doing this, guys. I was like, I know I want to go out and do the Ring of Kerry. And I know I'm going to go, then obviously have to go back across to the east of Ireland to get the ferry back from Dublin. I want to base myself over towards Dublin on the last night. So first night, I've done a whole route into Dublin, all the way down the N7 into Killarney. Happy days, no dramas on that whatsoever. And then the second day, of course, what I'm doing is from this, woke up, did the Ring of Kerry, and then what I'm doing is going to head back, basically, and just work my way back across to the other side of the country. That's what I'm doing. And basically position for getting the ferry. So look at this view. This is the problem. You're motorcycling, going, focus on the road, mate. Focus on the road. How can I focus on the road with that over there? But here's the thing. I'm here to educate myself. 100%. Here to educate myself in, just being present on the road. As you know, motorcycling makes you present, if that makes sense. There's a thing I like about motorcycling. It's very similar to flying, guys, and hit the comments if you find something similar there. There's a very finite binary construct if you get it wrong. Same with flying, you just die. So you've got to do things right. You've got to look long. You've got to wear the correct armor. It's like dressing for a flight. Make sure everything's zipped up even when you're hot. But careful about getting too hot, careful about getting too cold, you lose concentration. But again, when I'm braking, I'm standing the bike up, then I'm leaning, I'm coming off the brakes. Increase lean, reducing brake, all that kind of stuff. And really just learning more about the bike, more about what it can do. I've got dynamic mode on this. It does dip under braking quite heavily. If I was going to move on to another bike after this one, maybe a couple of years, what would I move on to? Probably something like, I don't know, maybe the 1300 GS, very cliched. I quite like the 1300 RS though, the sports tourer. But here's the thing, why am I not getting a 1000 XR? I don't think I need that kind of power, like 170 brake. I think the M variant is 200, but I understand why people want that four-cylinder singing top end thing. I think I'm about the torque. I don't know why. But hey, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. BMW keep hounding me, phoning me up. Hey Tim, when we get the RS in, do you want to try it? All that kind of stuff. They're going to throw bikes at me. And if you're interested, guys, then let me know. And what I'll do is I'll take a bike off them and I'll do a video on that bike. Like a completely, I know nothing, I'm a new rider video. Like this, I've got this bike, I'm a new rider. How do I feel about it? Is it too much for me? That kind of stuff. Is that the kind of content we're looking for? Because this channel is about standards. I keep talking about it, guys. Fitness, family, finance, and fuel and faith. Those main things there. Before I get on the bike, I make the peace with God, make the peace with the family. Obviously, the last moment I'm sliding down the road into a truck, I want to make sure that I've clarified everything that I've got left in my life here. And I think everyone understands that. If you are a rider, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I make sure that I don't leave the house angry with the wife. I'm never getting on that bike if my mind's not in the correct place. We used to say, are you fit to fly in the Air Force? Are you fit to fly? That's what we used to say. And you had to answer either yes or no. And I've been at the outbrief where guys have said, no, I'm not fit to fly, mate. Right, brilliant. Let's scrap it then. We'll do it tomorrow, right? Yeah, we're a bit pissed off with the dude. You could have told us that in the brief, mate. You know what I mean? Saved us all kitting up. But sometimes it's not until you put your kit on and you're walking out to the jet where you're like, I'm not ready. I'm not in the mindset for this. And I think biking's the same. Like, I need to be in that mindset for this. I don't have audio in my helmet at the moment. I've got earplugs in. I just bought some better earplugs actually, which seem to get rid of a lot of the wind noise and everything else on the drone of the engine. But I've got to be in that correct mindset. I'm just thinking about the road here. Guys, if you like the content, let me know. Talk soon, guys. Tim Davies, Fast Ship Performance.